everybody. My name is Chris Stuckman. Welcome to Movie Mondays, sponsored by Audible, and today I'm joined with a very special guest at a very special place. I'm currently sitting on set in front of the house that Chiron lived in from the movie Moonlight, next to a very special person. He led a team of actors to a Best Picture award and a Best Writing award at the Oscars. Please welcome the director of Moonlight, Barry Jenkins. Welcome, Barry.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So, how does it feel to be an Academy Award winner?
I mean, it's incredible. Like, dream of it your entire life.
Exactly, and it almost slipped away from me last night with the announcement of La La Land.
Yeah, we thought we lost that, but
Yeah,
kind of sucks for them, but it's great for us.
Exactly. You love to see it. Let's just jump straight into it here. When I was watching the film, I saw a lot of racism and a lot of homophobia in the film.
Yeah.
In the racism, I saw systemic racism, tons of it. For the homophobia, lots of prejudice against Chiron because he's gay. He's being called names like faggot. And Chiron and Kevin are gay at the end of the movie, which kind of caught me off guard, which was kind of the kind of theme of this movie. Like you kind of didn't know how this movie was going to turn out. Also, the stereotypes throughout the entire movie were kind of what you would kind of expect, but really obviously isn't good, but it would kind of be what you would expect. And I kind of want to hear your opinion on that. So does this movie reinforce or challenge these stereotypes?
I think making this film, we're trying to do both. It's about saying, yes, these stereotypes do exist, and they are partly true. Not everyone fits under that stereotype, and most, in fact, do not. You know, you show this large stereotype of black people being poor and dealing drugs, but you show that in this community where it's not necessarily bad people, and a lot of these people feel like they have to do drugs or have to beat people up because of the environment that's around them.
Yeah, definitely. I can see how the stereotypes go into the environment of the entire film. And speaking of environment, why is the setting important in this film?
Yeah, the setting's very important. You know, you have this community in Miami that's sort of the stereotypical black community, drug dealing, low income, sort of like the ones in Atlanta or Baltimore. And then you have these characters within the community, and kind of going back to the reinforcing and challenging stereotypes. The setting of the film, this Miami, the environment of the community sort of is reinforcing the stereotype. Then you have these characters, Chiron and Kevin, who are gay in this community where it's not necessarily okay to be gay, and they kind of challenge the stereotypes within that setting.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely a good point to hit on. And speaking of Chiron, throughout the film, we have Chiron taking on these three names, Little, Chiron, and Black. How does this name play an importance in this film? And what is the message about these three names?
Yeah, in the film, these names sort of represent the transformation of Chiron. He starts out as this kid who's not really like the other people in this community. And then that's his little persona. And then as you go on, you have Chiron, and then you start to see the transformation of him becoming these people. And it goes back to why the setting's important.
Yep.
You see him become this person because of the environment around him, where he's beat up, then he takes the chair, knocks it over his bully's head.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see later, after he goes to jail for that, you see him become this black stereotype, where you have him a drug dealer now, and he's hard, as they say in the film. And that just shows the transformation, and it goes back to the setting, just the environment. He's not necessarily this person, but because of what he's gone through, he becomes this stereotype. And it just shows the systematic racism throughout society.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely portrayed throughout the setting, and also when he left to go to juvie. One thing that was heavily discussed by the people that have watched the movie is the meaning of the title Moonlight. Why did you decide to name the movie Moonlight?
Yeah, I think it goes back, if you remember the one line in the film that Juan said, black boys look blue in the moonlight. I think it goes back to the systematic racism, not only seen in this film, but in society now. And you have this boy who's not like other people in his community, He's not this Chiron when he's little, isn't this drug dealer or this hard, tough person. But because of the environment, because of the moonlight, he looks blue. He looks like this hard person by the end of the film. And it sort of shows that the environment, because of what's happening, sort of shapes him into this person. And then you have one saying afterwards that even though you have to choose who you are. And I think that's what you see at the end of the film with Chiron's relationship with Kevin. It's breaking the stereotypes. That's the message of the film, is that you have to choose who you are, despite all the stuff that happens in these environments that sort of shape a person.
Yes, definitely, definitely. When I was watching this film, kind of felt bad for Chiron because of how much he was being discriminated against and kind of abused by his mother and all of his. I can't even really call them friends at school because he's really not their friends. They're just people at
No.
school, his classmates. And also, I felt very like suspenseful. The mood was very suspenseful because of the music choice. Like I think the music choice was amazing.
Yeah.
The Mozart
Thank you.
Symphony and the suspenseful violin throughout the suspenseful scenes. You could tell.
Yeah.
One that kind of stood out for me was when his mom was Chiron's mom was yelling at Chiron. In that case, he was little. So when his mom was yelling at little, and the music started playing, you could kind of feel like you started to tense up, and I think that was done very well in the film. And I just wanted to ask, how did you feel when you were watching this film back?
Yeah, first about the music, it's sort of trying to better show the transition a bit. Like you have all that tough stereotype music at the end when he is black.
Yeah,
but for how I
all
feel,
that rap.
Yeah, for how I feel, watching it, knowing what's going to happen, I think you see a lot of films where you have this little type of character, and like the kind of transformation seen in the films is sort of him becoming accepted in a way. Where I think what makes this film different is that you sort of see him become who everybody thinks he will be. And I think that's sort of what makes this film unique and shows the stereotypes and the racism, is him becoming this person, which isn't often seen in films, the transition that's made in this film.
Yeah, and
it's definitely, yeah.
Yeah, definitely, and it's not what everybody expects him to be.
Yeah. When you watch the film, you expect him to sort of become, I guess at the end he does become this person. He kind of breaks the stereotype, but before that happens, you've seen him kind of embrace it and
definitely.
become it, which is different from most films.
Yeah, definitely.
And it definitely it's meant to make you sad.
Yeah, it's meant to make you sad and kind of play with your emotions, and that's why it's such a good film. And I think that this film was done very, very well. And I think that the emotion that was shown throughout with the music, with the acting, I'm not surprised that you guys won an Academy Award for Best Actor.
Thank you. That's very appreciated.
I think with the acting, the music, and the setting, it was kind of a recipe for success.
Yes, thank you.
On that note, I'd like to thank Mr. Barry Jenkins for coming on to the show. Thank you so much.
Yes, thanks for having me.
This has been another edition of Movie Mondays with Chris Stuckman, sponsored by Audible, and I'll see you in the next one.